You're welcome back. This is Newsfile. It's your most authoritative news analysis platform. And we move on to our next topic on the Takoradi girls who have been missing, 3 of them, for a long time now. But the police gave an indication some time ago that, is that almost a month ago or so, that they knew their whereabouts. They brought some glimmer of hope. And then the Daily Guide seems to have also done a story to want to confirm that the girls are indeed around. And the same police comes to say the Daily Guide story should not be believed because it is false. People are unable to reconcile the two. Okay, share a few messages with you. We'll deal with that subject quickly and then move on to Accra Energy. Some of the comments, some of you want to actually talk about the beautiful thing that happened with the Imam, Chief Imam Osman Sharabutu and Notumfo Osei II. Okay, yeah. I'm also informed that the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bamia, also celebrated his birthday in the Methodist Church in Cape Coast last year. And so that is also worthy of note. Musa Abato and Kumasi says, how do you enter Nolly Prosequire to set foreigners free while Ghanaians are languishing in jail for the same offenses? Okay, Aisha Huang is walking free because of Sino-Hydro deal. God save Ghana. Osafo Mafo must go. Kwesi Akofo in Subing in Kumasi says mercenaries from South Africa were believed to have been found in our country training terrorists, and all the state could do was to deport them instead of prosecuting them for an offense that could very well pass for high treason. Why then should the deportation of Aisha Huang be construed in the manner that it is being done? Right, if you were in town, you know what went on about that one as well. Eja Adam, I find the comments by the senior minister problematic since it has nothing to do with the Sino-Hydro deal. The NDC just wants to shout ghosts when no one has died. The woman and people close to her were arrested several times under the NDC but never prosecuted. Maestro Nana Kwesi says, we may not like the senior minister's comments because of the disrespect it brings to us, but legally it is dicey to question the action, not to prosecute. Thank you for those comments. Now, let's get back to our Takoradi girls who have been missing. And I wanted to start with Kofi Bentil because he actually brought media gravitas to that issue and brought it to the limelight by some of his statements about it here on Newsfile that got all the media now giving the needed support and giving the police the pressure to do what it has to do. But let me start with the Member of Parliament. Yes, what do you make of what is happening? And the parents, the relatives, they are traumatized by what is going on. In fact, some of them are suggesting that they will sue certain persons or entities for toying with their emotions.
Yeah, Samson, I mean, this is a very, very difficult and tragic situation. But if you permit me, just for 30 seconds, I just want to run up on the first topic, that we need to pay attention to what is happening with this Galamsey fight. Yesterday, I read a very worrying story. Illegal Chinese miners having field day, MPP MP. And this story is still up on Ghana Web. It says a member of parliament for Manso Nkwanta, Joseph Albert Kwam, has expressed disappointment in the commitment of state agencies in fighting the Galamsey menace in the country.
Occupy Ghana stated that in their statement, resurgence of the Galamsey menace.
Exactly. And this is an MPP member of parliament. He says, quote, I am a member of parliament for Manso Nkwanta constituency, specifically Manso West District. And even right now, when you come to my constituency, there are some pockets of Chinese workers. You know, so let's pay attention. Then there was also this breaking story that I have not heard many people talk about it on Star FM online. Minister caught on tape attempting to bribe Star FM reporter. The Minister of State at the presidency, Roxy Nayini Bukari, has been caught on tape in a frantic and desperate effort to prevent a journalist from publishing a damning story against a Chinese mining company. That's the Jiangxi, that same mining company that even when the ban was enforced, the Honorable Amewu, the Lands and Natural Resources Minister at the time, gave them approval to flout the ban. And you remember it led to the loss of dozens of lives. You know, this minister, who was a former Upper East Regional Minister, and now at the presidency, and I've listened to the recording, very clear. You know, again, this is available on Ghana web. So
well, I've listened to that recording also, and I think that it is only fair to state that the recording suggests that and the story suggests that he's seeking to bribe the journalist about the conduct of a judge in the outcome of a matter between Shanxin and another mining entity.
Yes.
What this journalist does not tell us is whether whatever influence may have been peddled led to the outcome of the court case. The journalist doesn't tell us.
Yes.
But I'm sure that we'll hear from the minister.
But you see, the journalist has produced the pictures of the motorbike and the hordes of 5,000 Ghana cedis.
Yeah, he says the company gave those to him.
So a lot is going on. A lot is going on. When you add all of this to what Osafu Mafu said, that is why I still insist that, look, there's government complicity. Anas Arimaya and Nas's own work. Look at how the Charles Bissiou and co-members of the Interministerial Committee were indicted. So we are not impressed. We are not impressed. And I'll end with H. Kwesi Prempe's post. It really, really touched me. He said, disgraceful and insulting thing to say to Ghanaians. Would you be saying this if this action had been taken by the previous government? Are the Chinese here to build infrastructure for us for free, or they are here to do business for profit? Is law breaking by Chinese nationals and a waiver of criminal sanctions part of the bargain for the Sino-Hydro transaction?
Yeah, I read this
here.
I read this here last
foreign
week.
nationals in Ghana for committing crime? You know, so, you know, the way we are, some people.
Okay, let's go in search for Priscilla Kwesing and her friends.
Yeah. You know. Yes, so thank you for your kindness. 30 missing girls. You see, it's always difficult to put the Ghana Police Service on board because I know that there are a good number of them who do a professional job, who work hard. You know, we send them in harm's way when it's raining. You know, they are at the mercy of the vagaries of the weather. You know, risking their lives. You know, but on this matter, they have not covered themselves in glory. What was the need to hold that press conference? By the CID boss, who interestingly was promoted not too long thereafter, that they know where the girls are. I mean, I was at a loss when I heard that announcement. I mean, is it some high strategy, you know? Because you know where they are. Knowing where they are is different from we have them. There's a distinction. So that was the first glimpse of
even
hope.
the claim of knowing where they are. Let's hear what the Attorney General has to say about it. Very instructive. Is the police really working with the Attorney General on this? Let's hear Gloria Kufu.
The complaint about the Takoradi girls that have disappeared. People keep saying, they say they have traced them. So why don't they tell us where they are? You could even endanger their lives if you did that. I find it even regrettable that that information was put out, that they have been traced. That's alerting whoever, unless we have taken charge of the girls. If you say we have traced them, that signals those who are holding them, and they could change the location.
Right.
Brilliant, brilliant. I mean, that's what we were all thinking. That, I mean, wasn't it a very, you know, amateur, infantile thing to do? I mean, with all due respect. But I thought that, you know, they are the professionals. I mean, we are laymen. We have no probably advanced training in such high level, you know, investigative and security matters. It turns out that really it was a hoax. Daily Guide follows up and says that they are doing well, they are in some BNI facility, they have been found. You in the media check with their parents, and they say that we don't know where they are. I mean, if they have been found, at least let us visit them. They are our children. I mean, something. Let's put ourselves in the shoes of these parents. They are relatives. Can you imagine what they are going through?
It's been since August 2018 and December 2018.
Yeah. I mean,
Priscilla Ruth Kwesing, Priscilla Bentum, and Priscilla Koranchi are still not found.
So something, I will, in the face of the evidence, how the Ghana Police Service, especially the CID, led by Madame Adodankwa-Tiwa, have bundled this case, I will suggest that there should be a special commission put together to look into this matter and to take over the search for these girls. There are times that we have even solicited external support. We've done that before in this country. Not once, not twice. We did it when women were being killed. I remember under President Kufuor, sought external support, from the United States of America. We did it when our markets came under arson attacks. I mean, 15-year-olds, 18-year-olds, 21-year-olds. And something, let's remember that things are getting worse. There's the case of the Indian businessman, there was the Estonian diplomat, and now even within diplomatic circles. And this is not Ghana. Interestingly, a lot of the suspects so far, even if the police are to be believed, and now, like many
the Indian businessman in Kumasi, thankfully, was rescued.
Yes, yes. But the point I'm making is that it appears that foreigners, I don't want to mention any particular country, seem to be at the forefront, and they are demanding ransom and all of that. It puts all of us at risk. All of us who come on TV, who, the criminal gangs out there think that they can make some money from us. Our children are sent to school, In other jurisdictions, they make a lot of money from these things. Even these terrorist cells, terrorist network, that is how they raise money to buy their bombs and carry out all their senseless, mindless acts of terror. So we have to sit up.
What should be happening from the police, from the state? What should be happening for parents and, families of these girls? What should be happening from the state?
You see, I was very saddened to hear from their parents that they don't even have anybody to talk to. In other jurisdictions, social workers will have been sent to them. They need counseling.
The police deny that.
Trauma
that there are at
therapy.
least 2 people in the region who have been made to be the contact that the families are supposed to be engaging.
Only there's a report here by CTFM.
I'm familiar with that.
Yeah, they say that they don't know who that liaison officer is. They don't know who they are. These people need. Look, they can even commit suicide. It can lead to depression. I mean, it can alter their lives forever. These are not matters that you just leave, like that. So, as a state, we have failed them. We have really, really failed them. The social protection they need, the psychological assistance. Already, you are not doing well with the aspect of investigations. You are toying with their emotions, messing them up. And then, in terms of the management, the therapy that you should give them, you are also not paying attention.
Okay, so let's be quick about this. Let's get Kofi Bentil. Now, Kofi, the Daily Guide report Wednesday was so categorical to tell you that they had their hands on something. They said that the girls had been found and they were receiving medical treatment at an unnamed health facility here in Accra. They went ahead to say that the girls had been brought to Accra on Tuesday. Now, the police comes to say, let's treat this as false. Let's hear Sheila Bachman of the Ghana Police Service, who has spoken to the release they issued. Let's hear her.
Since we started investigating this case, in particular when it was transferred to the CID, we have appointed 3 liaison officers within Takoradi Police Regional Command to be communicating or coordinating with the family. And we encourage the family leadership of the family members to be speaking to these liaison officers for credible information. We do know that they don't always get to these police officers, or when the police officers approach them, not all of them make themselves available to speak to these people. But it is important that we do coordinate with not only the public, but also the families involved, for them to know every step of the way that we are taking, every step of investigation that we are taking. And so as we assure the public that we are working tirelessly with partner agencies to rescue the kidnapped girls, we are also encouraging leadership of the families to continue to cooperate with the assigned officers within Takoradi Police Command. If they have any difficulties dealing with these officers, they can go to the regional commander, who in turn will make headquarters aware and who would give them the necessary information. So that coordination is there, and we expect it to work.
Just for clarity, so for the families who are listening to us right now, the police's official position on the news of whether or not the girls have been rescued is that it is false.
Yes.
Okay, but
this particular story was not attributed to the Ghana Police Service, but we have monitored it, and because it involves investigation by the police service, it is important that we put out the information that we cannot confirm the story, because from the police official source, the girls are yet to be rescued.
Right, so that's the Director of Public Affairs at the Ghana Police Service, Sheila Abeye Bachman. And I was telling you just a while ago that if you didn't know that she had worked with the Daily Guide before.
Yeah. Sheila is a fine policewoman, and she's a lawyer too, and my friend. So regards to Sheila.
She was your mate?
Yes.
In law school?
Yes.
Right,
yes,
okay.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. But you know, something, you remember when I raised this matter here, the point I wanted to make was that at the point I sought to make it a national issue, they had been treated so badly at the local level, if you remember. And I asked, what if this was your daughter? And at that time, you know, investigators have this golden window. If you don't do something and then you are done. You know, they had this boy going back and forth. He was in prison, then he escapes. The police. It was shambolic, the treatment at that level. After we talked about it here and Joy FM picked it up and all those other things happened, it came to national attention. You see that there was a bit of, you know, more attention and resources. Look again, okay? For the life of me, as for what the newspaper is saying, which is looking like untruths, okay? You can put it in another box and treat it later on. But when a senior officer of the Ghana Police Service calls a press conference essentially and makes official statements, it must not be taken lightly. And you know, in all of these things, I have been hoping that it is true. Look, we want these girls found so badly. And when Daily Guide said what they said, I just told myself, Lord, let it be true. Then when Madame came to give her press conferences, we know where the girls are. I said, Lord, let it be true. But I had the same sentiments being expressed here. Why on earth will you say that? Except the people are in your hands. Yeah. And you know, sometimes they say there's a method to the madness. In the confusion, there is a strategy. And sometimes those of us who stand back, we don't understand what is going on, but we understand in the end. So I told myself, Madam Tiwa will not be talking like this if there's no method to this madness or a strategy in the confusion. But I'm yet to see it. And I hope we are not getting the same shambolic treatment that was being meted to. This is serious. And I don't think anybody should be playing with a matter this seriously. Look, if it turns out that all of this was just simple, you know, misguided statements, somebody really has to answer. And indeed, this is what nation states are for. there are times when your country rises to your defense. When people talk about patriotism, I say, you know, Americans are patriotic. If you like, catch an American, they will bring a gunboat, they will bring a warship to come and take the person out. If your country cannot stand for you when you need it, what do you do? So look, I'll pause here and say, look, we hope there is a method to this madness. We hope the police really know what they're doing, because a senior police officer has made clear statements in the media. They should please give us some information, and please be in contact with the family. I understand if Sheila says they've appointed some people to do the work. It's true. People are appointed to do all kinds of things. Whether they do it or not, I think Sheila must take some steps to follow through and give them some, you know, some sort of respite, because this is difficult.
Well, in this circumstance, it does look like the obligation to give information is not even only to the parents and the families of these kidnapped girls, but to all of us as Ghanaians, because we want to know whether we are also safe and our children are safe. Now, Kuku, I think beyond the Daily Guide bringing it up and the confusion happening, I am interested in asking, you know, a senior journalist of your class, do you think it is ever possible for the Daily Guide to stick its neck out and give dates and say the girls are here in Accra without verifying the facts? Is it possible for the police CID boss to say, we have the girls, so we know where they are, so come, when that is a statement or that is a fact not verified?
Tough question. And, you know, I hardly do peer review of colleague journalists or media houses because of the potential to sound hypocritical.
And more particularly, not with the paper you edited.
Yes, that's a good one. So I am challenged, but I'll try and make an input. See, for me, this book, I don't know if you've read this book by one of our best intelligence professionals ever,
Quanson.
Mr. Quanson.
Quanson, yeah.
It's, Bogus
Informants.
One of my favorite books.
Yeah, it's a fantastic book.
Yeah.
And he's a very experienced professional, intelligence professional, one of the best we've had in our country. I will recommend that book to people. And beyond that book too, at least, one has been exposed to so many things over the years, reading intelligence files from the 50s to today. And you see a lot of things there.
Including intercepted ones.
Sure, sure. And sometimes the state itself becoming a victim, not just newspapers. I'm a journalist. I've published stories that I believed in because it came from sources we had cultivated over a period, trusted sources. And some of those stories turned out not to be true.
Bogus informants.
I have experience in that field. So it can happen to a newspaper or a media house, including your own.
Can it happen to the police too?
Yes. That's why I said read that book, and then the fact that the state itself, even cases in court, see.
And the police would not have spoken to the girls or gotten to hear of them.
You see, I have a problem with what the CID boss did, even though I initially supported it. I thought they had, it's like a blind man saying, I'll throw a stone at you. So I believed it, and I went out there and I thought it was great assurance and reassurance. And I tried to, you know, inflict that, my whole thing on others. Let it affect them so that everybody gets confident. I have to be honest, I was a victim. At the same time to a perpetrator in terms of selling that message. Now I'm very disappointed. Because you see, that's where the focus should be. But I wanted to explain why we all get it wrong sometimes.
Go ahead.
Because sometimes the information comes from a very trusted source. I was going to give an example, which I know some people find disturbing. the Kulungugu bomb trial. You know, it went two runs. The first one and then the second one. You remember? The first one led to Nkrumah and his government dismissing the judges and asking for a retrial because the CPP elements in that case were acquitted and discharged by the trial court. Go read the evidence on which the trial court took a decision. The national intelligence, national security provided the documentation and the records based on information they had from informants and other sources. With the benefit of hindsight, many people think that Adam Afiu, Akwaji, and Kofi Krab were perhaps not truly part of the conspiracy. But I tell you, some of those processes, the evidence, came through the state intelligence agencies. Were they deceived? Were they misinformed or disinformed? So, and there are many examples I can give you that have happened to us over the 60 or so years that we've been independent. So it can happen. And you can forgive a newspaper house or a media house when they become victims. But it's difficult to forgive the state institutions. And that's why I said my focus is on the police. When I heard the police denying the Daily Guide story, I asked myself, did they think they had finished their business? Because people were asking questions on what the CID boss had said. It brought to the fore again. Okay? So really, to be honest with you, I think the Daily Guide story, from my own checks, is doubtful validity. That's my view. And this, they should forgive me because I hardly do things like this. The girls are not in the custody of any state agency as we speak. They are not.
And this is you also being categorical, just like the Daily Guide and the police have done.
Yeah.
Yes, but you see, the advantage I have is that it's based on what Daily Guide has done and what the police CID boss has said. My is just like now reviewing them.
No, but you also spoke like you said, like a blind man telling you,
my tax is easier.
Why are we not using other state agencies?
Yeah. Okay.
See,
why?
Let's quickly finish. Yeah.
In this situation, the police has officially spoken, denying the media publication.
They say it's false.
Where is the BNI? Something was attributed to them, not officially, unofficially, because the newspaper was talking of sources. The sensitivity of this issue is such that BNI cannot claim they haven't heard or seek an alibi in silence. It's wrong. We're dealing with families out there. Now the public as well, everybody is worried. So at this stage, if the BNI can't talk, the Ministry of Interior should talk on their behalf.
And the AG has spoken.
Yeah.
Interestingly. You see, AG.
Perhaps if they had been working with the AG, they would have been giving this advice long ago.
So we should be spared this confusion, organized
this is intelligence work, honestly.
We should be spared it. The public, we don't deserve that.
You should see the video where Lexis Bill is interviewing Gloria Kufu and the portion where she responds to this question. Check her demeanor. She's so unhappy that this is not done. How did the police at the top agree that they needed to do a press conference and announce to the families that the girls...
Did the police hierarchy agree to do that?
We don't deserve it. The public doesn't deserve it. Even the government doesn't deserve it. And that's why perhaps now, if the Ministry of Interior won't talk, the presidency should get all of them together and whip them up. There is something missing. There's confusion now. BNI is quiet, police is talking, they themselves are not even referring to what they too told us.
And contradicting themselves.
Yes, in a way. Why? We have more competent people in this country to handle such a thing in the system. Both police, BNI, presidency, everywhere. We have people who have the requisite integrity and competence we shouldn't be where we are. It's a disgrace.
Okay.
It's embarrassing.
1 minute.
Should this be taken away from the police? They are leading it.
Well, you see, quick point, and this is
Should
important.
the SEC be taken away from the
Maybe
police?
yes.
So yeah, they don't inspire confidence.
But this quick point is important. Look, it may be these 3 girls, but it's a national issue. We all feel unsafe.
Yeah.
So don't look at just the 3 girls. Look at the whole big picture. I hear some good things are happening at the BNI. I hear there's some real, positive traction, reorganizing, though quiet. I don't see why we cannot involve them and use all state resources.
Assuming the Daily Guide, without admitting, the story is true. Sourcing BNI, the BNI hierarchy, they officially will know that, yes, we have these girls in our custody. And they are quiet.
Yes, they should.
Considering all what is going on, their families complaining, everybody complaining. In whose interest? It's not in the interest of the state.
Okay.
Whether BNI, police, the presidency, Ministry of Interior, none. It's not in anybody's interest. So this is where you come with full disclosure. Do you have the girls or you don't have the girls?
Yeah.
You don't have them, let us know you don't have them. Then we know the search continues.
Okay. Right. We take a break and